Welcome to Veterans Voice, where we highlight programs and services that support our veterans. I'm James Mable. Houston is one of the premier energy capitals of the world, and so it only stands to reason that many veterans who settle in Houston will gravitate to working for oil and gas companies. We're joined by Forrester Goodrich, Technical Training Lead at Occidental Petroleum. Thanks for joining us, Rich.
Thanks, James. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you for being here, sir. So what do you see as value added that veterans bring to companies?
Well, James, veterans bring a lot of value to organizations, most specifically the ability to handle complex problems and deal with continual uncertainty. We're accustomed to that in the military, and I think that's one of the few high-level value items that companies should look for when it comes to working or hiring veterans.
Excellent. And what opportunities does Occidental have that might be of particular interest to our veterans?
Occidental has a very robust veterans hiring program. In the military, there are a lot of technical roles and jobs. That translates directly into some of our oil and gas and even some of our new carbon capture projects that we have at Occidental Petroleum. So I would encourage veterans with a technical background, even if they're not non-technical, to look into some of the opportunities that we have. But we're a technology company by trade, and I think that brings a lot of value.
And are these opportunities here in the Houston area or elsewhere in the state?
Yeah, they're here in Houston and in West Texas and in Colorado. Our major operations are in West Texas, but our headquarters is here in the Houston area. So we're located at 5 Greenway Plaza, and we have thousands of employees there that are technical and non-technical, everything from HR to financial accounting, and everything else in between.
Great. And what advice do you have for veterans transitioning into the corporate world?
Yeah, the best advice I can give a transitioning veteran, James, is be uncomfortable and be flexible. Corporations don't have to adjust to you. You have to learn how to speak their language. We made a transition when we came into the military. It was a very uncomfortable transition where it was boot camp, recruit training. We have to reacclimate ourselves to speaking their language. And I think that's the most important thing. Be flexible and be prepared to be uncomfortable in this new environment that you're transitioning back into.
And tell us more about the, credentials that someone would need to have to pursue opportunities at Occidental. As you know, Houston Community College, we have various associate degrees and certificates in technology and manufacturing and engineering that are offered to our students. So what do you see as some credentials that are very popular that you're seeking from your veteran candidates?
Yeah, James, it's so ironic that you said that about some of the certificate programs and some of the technology programs. That's exactly what we're looking for in our company. Those 2-year degrees, those certificate programs. The workforce is becoming a lot of times focus on the degree, but the technology certificates bring tremendous value. We want people that can think on their feet, hands-on technology stuff, just like some of the instructions at HCC. I encourage them to apply at oxy.com. We have locations at OxyChem that is in the Dare Park, Pasadena area. So we're always looking for good technicians that can make a great living using not only their hands, but their brains in this highly technological world.
Excellent. As veterans are looking at and learning more about your company and the opportunities that you have, what advice do you have for veterans that are, getting to the point of polishing their resumes and wanting to pursue those opportunities? As you know, as a veteran, sometimes it can be difficult to translate the experience that you gained, the job that you worked in while you're in the military, to roles that are out, in the civilian world. So what advice would you give to veterans about what they could do about their resumes and those transferable skills?
I work with 4 Block, which is a career transitional program. And I would highly recommend that they get in touch with veterans at these companies and have them look over their resumes as they go through it. A key part of that is translating that. At Oxy, we have the Oxy Veterans Network, and hiring managers come to us and say, "Help, let's translate this resume. What does it actually mean?" And that's important, and it's critical for them to find someone that can help translate their resume. And inside the company, we have people that help these hiring managers fully understand what those military acronyms and the scale of value that they actually bring. So get on LinkedIn, find a veteran in that company. They'll help you translate your resume, and look for some other outreach programs like 4Block, like Next Stop here in Houston, that would help us to shape your resume into something they'll understand.
Thank you so much for providing those organizations. You said 4Block, and I believe you said Next Stop. Is that correct?
Next Stop right here locally in Houston. Yes.
Excellent. And so where else can veterans go to get more information about the opportunities at Occidental Petroleum?
I would highly encourage them to go to oxy.com/careers, and then link up with me on LinkedIn, and I could probably get their resume into the hands of a hiring manager or the recruiter that can get them in the right place.
Excellent. Well, Rich, thank you so much for joining us today on Veterans Voice. You provided excellent information, and thank you for your service.
All right. Thank you also, James.
After the break, we'll learn about a grant that helps HCC to help veterans.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey world, I have a quick message. It's about safe driving. All right, let's go. Anytime you're driving, have the seatbelt buckled tight. Both hands on the wheel and your phone out of sight. When not in your hand trying to text somebody back. Because if you do, your car might get smacked. The moral of the story, just put your phone down. The people on the road will stay safe and sound. Put your phone down, put your phone down. People on the road will stay safe and sound. Yeah.
Some people might think that it's just a food pantry. But they don't know the significance of it and the importance of it to the people here. I feel so blessed to be able to help people with food on this reservation. One of the elders told me, there is no higher honor for our people than to give one another food.
Welcome back to Veterans Voice. The COVID pandemic taught us all the importance of commercial trucking. But even now, trucking companies are having difficulty finding enough qualified drivers. HCC's commercial truck driving program recently made good use of 2 grants to bring veterans into the industry. Program Director Martin Garsee joins us. Welcome, Martin.
Thank you. Good to see you again, James.
Good to see you, sir. So tell us about the HCC truck driving program and what certifications you offer.
Thank you. The truck driving program offers Class A CDL training and also Class B CDL training. Class B is a little bit new to us. We've done the Class A for many years now. And what a Class A is, the typical 18-wheeler. There's a lot of variations, but we do day classes, which are 6 weeks long. We do evening classes, which are 12 weeks long. They're part-time, like 5 to 10. And then we also do weekend classes. So we're trying our best to reach out to the people who are either wanting to change careers quickly maybe they're unemployed or and have the ability to be off for 6 weeks and come to class, or that person that's working that can come to evening class or weekend classes. But the Class A is the by far most popular, but we do offer the Class B.
Excellent. Tell us about the grants you received and what they are enabling you to do.
Well, Houston Community College has received several grants down through the years for veterans. And what it does, it allows that veteran that maybe for some reason they're not qualified for traditional VA benefits. We know that because our program is a continuing education program and not a semester hour credit, there's a little bit of difference in that veteran coming to Houston Community College. But they allow them to be able to come to class, and it covers their tuition, their fees, and that type of thing. So they're able to come to class virtually free.
And why do you believe veterans are a good fit for your program?
Well, we could spend the rest of the day talking about that. The one thing I hear most often, and some companies have 20 to 25% of their fleet, the driving fleet, as veterans. While that's way above the average of the people who've served in the military in the United States, they gravitate toward hiring the veterans for many reasons. One is typically they're used to being away from home, either because of boot camp, for being deployed, all those different things. They usually have something in place that allows them to be gone and the family still function. And for driving, most driving is done in non-typical hours. They're not 9 to 5. It could be over the road or they're gone for a period of time, or it could be even maybe a local or just a regional route. But they believe that the military people are disciplined. We believe that, and that carries over into their job. Their attention to details, being willing to and able to learn quickly, be able to use what they've learned. And many of the MOSs in the military line up very well, the logistics, the transportation. And so they have a really good knowledge. I've heard it said so many times, if anybody knows how to move a whole bunch of stuff from one part of the world to another, it's the military, because they do it constantly. So that's a huge part of trucking, is being able to move product and being on time. There's just a lot of huge benefits in that person that's disciplined. They're willing to work. They have experience. They're matured, and just a lot of great benefits.
Well, that's an excellent and detailed overview of why veterans would be a good fit for these opportunities. Now, speaking of these opportunities, what is the job outlook for truck driving, commercial truck driving in the future?
Well, I was fortunate enough to listen to the American Trucking Association economist about 2 weeks ago. And while the economy is a little bit soft right now and freight's a little bit soft, what we're seeing is still a demand for drivers, because a lot of drivers during COVID chose not to come back to work. Maybe they just enjoyed being off for a while and decided they were close to retirement or they could retire, those type of things. So it's like a lot of other industries. It changes, but there's more and more jobs available in different locations. You know, all the movement, and I don't want to call names, but you know, there's a lot of delivery. And so while that's not always a CDL driver, that is a driver. So we see people moving back and forth into those different areas, and that's becoming more and more popular, whether it's hauling passengers or hauling freight or packages or whatever. It's a driver, and that person moves back and forth. American Trucking Association says that there'll be about 80,000 drivers needed to be hired each year for about the next 5 to 7 years. That's how far they're willing to predict. So the truck may look different. The insides are totally different than what they were with all the technology. But to get a product from A to B is going to take a truck for about 80% of the freight that's hauled in the United States.
Wow. So obviously there's quite a demand for truck drivers. Now, what are some fun aspects of the job?
Well, you know, The travel, and so many of the people that come through our program, this is maybe their second or third career. And the majority of the time, it's a better career for them financially than the previous career. That's why they gravitate toward it. So what is the fun part? Maybe is being able to afford more presents for your kids for Christmas. And I've heard that story several times. For the first time in my life, I've been able to buy this or buy that. It provides a stable environment. We see there's almost no history of truck drivers being laid off. Now, is there times when it's slower than others and maybe a shuffling, but drivers have always been able to find a job. So there's job security. But what's the fun part? Seeing different parts of the country. A lot of your over-the-road companies allow you to take off your day off or 2 days off, whatever you're have off a week at almost any place that you're at. So it gives you an opportunity to see things that otherwise you may not get to see. And a lot of people like that independence of being able to plan their day to some degree. If you're going from Florida to California, you have several days to do that. So whether you drive during the day, you drive at night, where you stop and all that, gives you some flexibility. So people have control of their own destiny, so to speak, so many times. So I think that adds to maybe the fun aspect and also fits within that of like, I want to do what I want to do, and a little bit more flexibility than maybe going to the office from 9 to 5.
Okay. Yeah, you've provided an excellent overview of also kind of what it entails to be a truck driver, fun aspects of it. Where can veterans go to learn more about the program?
Well, there's for a person that is a driver, companies have a lot of veterans programs out there. There's a lot more resources than there ever been for veterans. I say forever, over the last few years. But for Houston Community College, contacting us at the truck driving department at Houston Community College, and I want to give a plug to the Veterans Department at Houston Community College. We have an excellent working relationship with that group, and they do a tremendous job of helping the veterans get all the benefits that they're due. And so I can't say enough good things about the group that we have over there that we talk to almost on a daily basis. Being able to get help, maybe even more than tuition sometime, but stipends for living expenses, help in all different ways. So you can go to the Houston Community College website, you can type in veterans, and there's online chat, there's in person, there's just all kinds of ways. So be sure to take full advantage of those resources. If you're a veteran, and even if you don't think that you may have benefits available to you, call us, call them, let us work through that so you're able to fulfill your dream and provide for your family.
Thank you so much, Martin, for joining the show and sharing about the commercial truck driving program at HCC.
Thank you for the opportunity, and anytime. I love to promote our program or promote our college and the trucking industry. Thank you.
Excellent. After the break, we met a veteran who seeks to help other veterans without borders.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke.
Your blood pressure numbers could change your life. Lowering them could save you from having a stroke. If you've stopped your treatment plan, restart it or talk to your doctor about creating one that works better for you. Start taking the right steps at manageyourbp.org.
Now I'm, trying to get better, stronger than ever.
Dear humans, this is an adoption campaign, but it's not for me or Mr. Buttons or Frank over there. It's for you, humans. This is a call to humans to adopt our movement, to adopt our cause.
This isn't just about saving one of us.
It's about saving all of us.
Thousands of lives, every single day.
It's about support for every one of us four, and sometimes not four-legged best friends waiting to meet a best friend of our own. with Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge.
Shelter by shelter, city by city.
We can save thousands of pets each day.
Join us.
Together we can save them all.
For the first 29 years of Spencer's life, he lived day to day with unpredictable bouts of excruciating pain from sickle cell disease. But there is a cure. Through Be the Match, Spencer was able to receive a blood stem cell transplant from an unrelated donor.
My donor changed my life in ways she'll never know. Through her gift, my son will have his father around longer. I'm forever grateful.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to Veterans Voice. Veterans share a set of experiences and often face similar challenges, no matter what nation's armed forces they have served. Judy DuBose is an Army veteran who has made it her mission to help brothers and sisters in arms reintegrate after conflict. Welcome, Judy.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Yes, ma'am. You began your journey toward being an entrepreneur and nonprofit advocate while still on active duty. Tell us about that.
I saw many veterans who got off of active duty during my year group time from 1976 to 1987 that had very little job training that would translate into civilian life. So I would try and help forward them as a volunteer to other locations and try and help them find opportunities that would be a fit for what they either did in the military or what they were interested in doing. And as far as nonprofit advocacy, at that period of time, there was very little to no nonprofit advocacy for any of the post-war in Vietnam veterans that were coming back. And my husband died on active duty in 1987. And there were no things such as Wounded Warrior or any other nonprofits that helped veteran wives that had lost a spouse. And so it became kind of my mission to be able to find out benefits that I had coming, as well as where I could go for assistance and support. At that time, I had 2 small children, so it was quite a task. But I had a battalion commander when my husband passed away that my transition from active duty to the reserve components said, I am not going to let you throw away these years of your life, this 10-year period of time. And he transitioned me to the VA, where I started working tirelessly to find out about benefits for women as well as other dependents and males and females when it came to jobs and medical care. And that was all as a volunteer.
So much that you've done. And you were invited by Romania, you were invited to Romania by the United States Institute of Diplomacy and Human Rights. Tell us about the organization and how you contributed your expertise.
USIDHR, as it's known, that's the acronym, is a bipartisan think tank in the United States that's in Washington, D.C. The founder of it, Isabel Valadou, is an amazing woman that has had the opportunity to be recognized by both Presidents Biden and Trump for her human rights activism, as well as her global work for diplomacy. And Isabel and the organization did a conference relating to the reintegration of veterans into society and to the globe practically in Romania for Ukrainian veterans. And I have helped support the design and development and soon to be implementation of a program that is going to utilize traumatic brain injury, PTSD, magnetic brain stimulation, and outdoor integration through a Texas nonprofit called OATH, Outdoor Adventures for True Heroes, and then help integrate the veteran. And my presentation focused on making sure that the Ukrainian veterans had jobs and there was a database, and then we will do the medical treatment as well as the outdoor integration treatment.
And so what challenges will veterans of the current conflicts in Ukraine and Israel face when they reintegrate into civilian culture after the war, and what solutions do you propose?
PTSD and traumatic brain injury are going to be two that affect not only the veteran, but also the family members. And the traumatic brain injury treatment that we have with magnetic brain stimulation that is being currently done at Northwestern University that I'm working with, and the outdoor adventure program will be instrumental in helping, because it will give both the veteran and the families the ability to learn how to communicate and learn what they need to do to go forward. And the goal is to be able to help both of those countries find a way to support their veterans through jobs, education, skills training, and mechanisms that help them with housing as they rebuild their countries.
And Judy, how can the public help in your efforts?
Feel free to reach out to me. My email is judith.jadassociates@gmail.com. I am more than happy to talk to anyone that would be interested in helping us. We are going to be applying for federal funding, and hopefully Congress will approve the Ukrainian aid packages so that we can look at how we can become a part of that and be able to support us with ideas and concepts that could translate into a jobs market in those countries, because they're going to need it desperately.
Well, Judy, thank you for all that you do to support veterans, and thank you for your service.
You're welcome. It was my honor to serve my country, and if I had to do it, I'd do it again.
Well, thank you for that, ma'am. If you'd like more information on any of the organizations and services you've seen on the program today, visit our website at hccs.edu/Veterans Voice. An audio version of this show is available on Apple Podcasts. Just search for the HCC TV Podcast Network and then hit the subscribe button. For everyone here at HCC TV, thank you for joining us on Veterans Voice.